Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's I'm going to be comparing the most expensive and the least expensive Ram 1500 that you can buy. Before we get into this comparison, I'm going to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with both these trucks. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. So starting with the cheap Ram, we have a twin-turbo 3-liter inline-6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town, 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 469 pound-feet of torque. And then going expensive, we have a twin-turbo 3-liter inline-6 goes through an 8-speed. Fuel economy is a little bit less, 15 around town, 21 on the highway, but power outputs are a bit more, 540 horsepower and then 521 pound-feet of torque. Before I move forward with this comparison, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So I think one of the easiest ways to show the differences is to talk about the stuff that the Limited has that the Tradesman does not. So first off, you've got the hood vent there, and then you've got this vent piece in the center as well. You've got the fancier headlights, and then you also have painted trim all over the grille, all over the bottom section, except for that little plastic piece. Recovery points on it. But you notice the Tradesman has quite a bit. I mean, you've got a pretty fancy looking front end, you've got fog lights, you've got parking sensors even. So it actually comes with quite a bit of equipment, but there's the fronts. Now we've got 20s on the Tradesman and then 22s on the Limited. And yeah, those are pretty fancy wheels for a Tradesman if you ask me. Very fancy wheels, but it's Limited. The Limited has fender flares, whereas the Tradesman does not. The Limited also has the power extending, power folding trailer tow mirrors, so that's a big difference there. Both of them have a blacked out Ram badge on the side though. So here's your side profile with the Limited, and then here's your side profile with the Tradesman. Now the Limited has protection already from the factory. You've got LED bed lights, and we've got this cool tailgate, which is power up and down. Fancy taillights. We've got Ram boxes. This also has this cool 4x4 package, which gives it HD shock absorbers, cool dual outlet exhaust tips, and all of that. You even have a little bumper step there in the rear corner. The Tradesman has none of that. Doesn't even have bed liner. So yeah, quite a bit of a difference. I wonder if I can get this up with my... Nope, gotta use my hand. I was gonna try to get it up with my knee. But yeah, you've got like the baseline taillights, but it's still, I mean, look at these trucks next to each other. The Tradesman don't look bad. Now when it comes to the interior, the Limited is completely decked out. I mean, look at all that nice leather and the wood trim, and you got the fancy leather seats. They recline, they're heated and cooled for the back passengers. See how those functions right there at the USB ports. We also have little ice buckets there at the bottom. I mean, it literally has it all, and upgraded fancy sound system. And then if we pop over to the Tradesman here, literally plastic there on the door panel. And then the seats themselves, cloth trim here in the back. They don't have a recline function. You do have vents there in the back. And actually we also have the little ice buckets too. Now moving up front, I mean, look how fancy that door panel is. We also have massaging seats. You got automatic for the front two windows. Like I said, the mirrors power fold in. They also power extend. And they've got blind spot monitoring. And then you've got these really fancy leather front seats. Power adjustable pedals. You guys can see the light controls there and everything. And look at this big fancy digital gauge cluster. We've got radio controls in the back. You've got adaptive cruise control with lane centering. We have drive modes, 360 camera, dual zone climate. We've got heated and ventilated massaging seats. We have air suspension that we can adjust. And notice a lot of stuff built into this just huge screen. We have an advanced four-wheel drive system. We have a rear locker. We have off-road cruise control. We've got a Limited logo here on the center console. Nice wood trim, wireless phone charging pad. You've got a screen for the passenger. You've got a camera for your mirror and a big sunroof. And then going over to the Tradesman, yeah, there is not a lot of nice stuff, but the windows, they're automatic, and you do have blind spot monitoring. Got these cloth seats here. I mean, they're nice when it comes to cloth seats. You can see the light control, steering wheel's manually adjustable. Mostly analog gauge cluster, but it does have adaptive cruise control, which is nice, and it does have a backup camera, which is also nice. And then you guys can see here, we've got single zone climate, lots of physical controls, less screen, still have trailer brake controls. Still have a 4-wheel drive system, just don't have 4-wheel auto, don't have a rear locking differential or anything like that. You have a bench seat here in the center instead of a big fancy center console. You don't even have a lid over that glove box. We've got a regular rearview mirror. Window in the back still has power. No center for anything like that. And yeah, you don't have like the fancy leather trim all over the dash, so it's a pretty big downgrade with trim. Now when it comes to pricing, that Limited is as expensive as a Tungsten. It's over $90,000. And then this Tradesman is mid-50s. So I guess we'll see if the Limited is almost $40,000 more truck than the Tradesman. Well, let us set off in the Limited first, and then I'll go into the Tradesman and see how much of a downgrade it feels like. Let's get the massage going. Let's turn this down. Thank you very much. Let's get the heat going on for the seat. We'll do the steering wheel too while we're at it. Getting our screen time in today. Everything's a screen in this truck. Not everything, but a lot of stuff is. Now the Limited has air suspension. This one's not going to be as comfortable as a standard Limited because it does have the HD shock absorbers for off-roading, but it's still going to be pretty darn comfortable for a truck. And I know I should have the Tungsten, but there's not one available, and this is as expensive as a Tungsten. I mean, it's literally stickers for over 92 grand. And that's funny with Ram's setup. If you take a Limited and you put the Night Edition and the off-road and everything on it like what this has, then your Tungsten pricing. I wonder if they'll make a Tungsten Night Edition. I don't think so, but Tungsten Night Edition would be more expensive, obviously, but that doesn't exist yet. Engine's very smooth. Transmission, smooth as well. Oh yeah, it's an RHO. It handles really well. Center makes it feel nice and open. Lunchtime traffic. Make sure that if you go to lunch, you take your Bentley Bentayga. Because commuting and anything else is just plebeian. Let me tell you. Okay, these people are all turning, so I think we're good to go. Man, it's got some torque, it's got some power. I've compared the high output to the standard output before, but yeah, it's always crazy to go into the high output. It just is such a strong powertrain. Can we catch up to the Bentley? Whoa! Yeah, like I said, it's got some power. Window sticker flew off the dash. The $92,000 window sticker. As I was saying, the window sticker flew off the dash, the $92,000 window sticker. So this is a full-blown luxury truck. Super comfortable, drives really well. Just gotta love it. So let's go pop into the Tradesman and see if I feel like I'm missing out, if I should have spent an extra almost $40,000 and well, Ram Tradesman. I will say the seats aren't any less comfortable. These cloth seats are actually very comfortable, so that's nice. Steering wheel, yeah, it doesn't feel nearly as nice because it's just basically plasticky trim. But I will say the suspension does not feel bad at all. It's not quite as plush as the air suspension, but it's plush enough. Yeah, going with little things like this suspension picks them up, whereas the air suspension kind of deletes them. But this ain't bad. And there's more movement in the body too. The air suspension kind of keeps things more level. So, to be expected, to be expected. Man, this is nice. It's pretty darn quiet in here. It's that same RHO. What are they doing? Smooth power delivery. Yeah, the suspension's a big difference. Like that Limited with the air suspension was just so much more comfortable. But this still feels pretty luxe. Still a long wheelbase vehicle. You know what? I don't mind. I thought that I would feel like more disappointed going from the Limited to this, but like driving this, it feels fine to me. Feels more than enough truck. And the engine's not quite as powerful, but it feels more than powerful enough. Huh. Now, I do kind of have a bias towards utility. Gotta say that. I'm a person that, like, I'll pay extra for utility, I won't pay extra for luxury. So that could be part of why. Yeah, it's not as quick. It doesn't have that same roaring power, but it's still pretty impressive. Well, well, well. To cap things off with this comparison, is the Limited practically worth almost 40 grand more? No, we all know that. Is the luxury nice? Yeah, but I think the Limited just has a few too many gimmicks. I think they could, you know, bring down the gimmicks a little bit, and that would go a long way. And you know what that practically looks like is, I would say, get rid of maybe the passenger screen, because they literally delete the glove box to have a passenger screen. I mean, that's just foolish to me. So get rid of the passenger screen. And I mean, do you really need power extending trailer mirrors, right? I don't know. Just little things like that. It's interesting to see the difference between the most expensive and the least expensive Ram, but I think what this shows me is that you still get a nice truck either way, but you know, I would say that you don't necessarily have to go all the way up to Limited to have a luxury experience, because this is a comfortable, like I'd be just as happy in this over a long road trip than Limited. So that's all.